So many contractors believe that the best form of marketing, or perhaps the only form of marketing that you need, is just your work. In other words, if you do high quality work, then that's all you need. People will speak about you, people will give you referrals, etc. You don't need to, invest in ads, you don't need to do this digital stuff. Just do high quality work. And what they don't realize is that the contractors doing 10, 20, 50 million a year are all running ads, almost all of them, right? And so, why is it that the biggest businesses who get the most customers and probably have the strongest word of mouth still run ads, still invest in marketing? That's what I'm going to get into in this video. And if you are one of the contractors that do very high quality work, you really believe in it, then this video will be super relevant to you because you'll unlock a whole nother world after watching this. Now, I want to give a little disclaimer. This is not for people who don't have the ambition to actually scale their business, who don't want to actually build something great. Because if that's the case, then sure, you can just rely on referrals, like just serve the people who come through word of mouth, whatever. But if you want to actually build a great business, if you want to scale big, then this will be relevant to you. So the thing about word of mouth, right, is that although you get good customers, because again, they see the work that you have done for example, their neighbors, right? And so these people will be very happy to give you money because someone that they trust already told them about you, which means that they trust you, which means that they believe in your value, which means that they are usually just better customers, right? But the thing is that when you just rely on these types of referrals to get business, then your reach is just super small in relation to how big your market actually is. Because these people who come through word of mouth will only be able to talk about you to a handful of people where they reside, like a small, tiny area where they actually reside. When in reality, your market is like gigantic and has millions and millions of homeowners in it. Those people have no clue who you are and will not have any clue who you are. They don't see the quality of your work, they don't hear about your reputation, etc., because they are nowhere close to where your previous customers are. The point is that there are just way fewer people who know you, who trust you, who see your work than you might think. And the bigger companies who do 10, 20, $50 million a year realize this as well. See, although organically they're getting a lot of customers, people are talking about them, they still know that there's an ocean of people who are not thinking about them, who don't see their work, who don't know someone who has been a previous customer, etc. Like you can look at, for example, Alex Hormozi, right? Everyone knows Alex Hormozi. He's, the biggest business personal brand in the entire world. At all times, Alex Hormozi is running paid ads, hundreds, if not thousands of them. Even though he has like a gigantic organic reach. And the reason he does that is because even though he has a ton of followers, not all of those followers are like consistently consuming his organic stuff or know what he's up to, etc. And so adding a layer of paid ads will help reach those people as well who aren't like consistently consuming or like thinking about him. McDonald's runs ads, Nike runs ads, like all of these gigantic businesses who we all know and who we all buy from run ads, right? And so why shouldn't you? Again, if you don't want to scale, if you just want to have your, business, have it be chill, just make $1 million a year and, work with people who are, close to you, etc. And you're kind of just like cruising, That's totally fine. But if you want to actually scale, then why aren't you running ads? Especially since there is another layer to this. In fact, if you truly believe in your work, if you get a lot of referrals, then you should most definitely be running ads like starting today. And the reason is because it will be insanely profitable beyond probably your comprehension. So, to illustrate this, let's say you spend like $5,000 on ads. And I'm not saying that you need this in order to make money or in order to like land a project, but let's just say, for example's sake, that you have $5,000 to spend, right? So you spend $5,000 and this gives you a return of like $200,000, which is very reasonable if your ads are good and if you actually set up the right campaigns, the right funnel, etc. If you spend $5,000, you can most definitely generate $200,000. Now, after paying all the workers, all the material, etc., like there isn't that much money left, right? It's not like life-saving money, right? This $200,000 isn't gonna, do that much for you, right? There might be, I don't know, let's say gross, there's like 60K left or some shit, right? Not a huge amount. But the thing is that if you do high quality work and you get a lot of referrals, then this $200,000 sale may lead to an additional like $50,000 sale. Now, why is that? Well, it's because the person that you served here is, or the people, because maybe it's not a one-time $200,000 project, maybe it's, it could be 4 $50,000 projects, whatever. But the people that you served here will then tell other people about you and your work, right? So that the people who hear about you will also inquire about getting a project done from you, right? And so you get an additional customer for, let's say, 50, who pays you $50,000, and you haven't spent a single additional dollar on ads, right? You just got a $50,000 sale for free, right? So you don't make, $200,000 back. You actually make $250,000 back. And maybe this turns into more because, as you probably know, when people, for example, build a new backyard or whatever, they want to build an outdoor space, they may build like one project at a time, right? And so some of these people will probably come back to buy something more. And let's say in total, they buy for an additional, like, I don't know, $30,000, right? Now we're at $280,000, not $200,000. And this means that your advertising becomes just insanely profitable, right? And so if you do high quality work, then there's just no reason why you shouldn't invest in marketing and invest in ads if you want to scale, if you want to build a great business, because the customers that you get will just turn into more customers, and those more customers will be free and will give you just a higher return on ad spend. And then you can, as a result of that, spend even more money to acquire each customer, which allows you to scale just even more. And this isn't some like hypothetical or whatever, like this is just simple business math, right? If you know your lifetime value, if you know how many customers will refer you, then you could turn this into a crazy cash machine, right? Now, I understand that you may not have the expertise, the time, or the capacity to just sit down and write a bunch of ads and set up campaigns and stuff like that. And so if you want help with that, then I can handle that stuff completely for you. And as a result of that, book you some additional projects on a performance basis where there's no risk for you. So if that sounds interesting, then click the link in the description to book a call with me. It's basically my website. You'll get to a page where there's a video sales letter. It says book a call below. Just click that and we can chat about me coming into your business and doing this stuff for you. So on that note, have an amazing day.